What's up guys, Austin Driver Northwest, making another install video on the Evo 10, and today I will be installing the new updated bracket Radium made for the dual catch cans. This bracket right here is going to replace the driver's side catch can and it's going to mount it lower. So the reason for this is if you're running a bigger intake like the ETS one, or an intake that actually runs like over here and then gets in the way of the filter, so you're either going to have to trim down on your intake pipe or basically reroutes your catch can. So this is essentially why they made the new bracket. So it mounts right down here, right below, right over here. It mounts to this bracket, and then you just gets out of the way of everything, so it doesn't run anything. But for me, I'm running the vented catch cans, so yours might look a little bit different from mine. I'm doing that just because the turbo kit doesn't have a little nipple on the intake so I can recirculate it back through. So that's why I'm running the little filters on top. You can buy those separate if you're doing that. And then I have the passenger side one too right here. But this one just stays in place because that's a good mounting spot for that. But so if you're running these catch cans, a lot of questions come up with, what do I do about the PCV valve? How do I reroute it, and how does that all go about? So I bought the Driven Fab PCV delete right here, and it screws right into your valve cover. I did that, and then you just literally run the hose to the catch can, have it vented, and then you're going to want to block off your intake manifold port so you don't have a giant boost leak. And that's essentially just deletes your whole PVC system, so you don't reroute it back into the stock configuration. So yeah, you legit just get rid of it, run it to the catch can, have it vented, and you're good. Or you can run it and have a check valve coming out of this one, going back into your intake manifold, and that will work just as fine too. But I'm doing a vented setup, and I think it works a lot better in my opinion. But yeah, so I'm going to get started on this install. So I'm going to disassemble this catch can, and then I'm going to probably drain it and see what I caught within probably, I want to say 800 miles, 1,000 miles on this new setup. So I'm going to take it all apart, show you how to reconfigure it, and then install it back in the new mounting location, and then probably trim up this hose too a little bit because I have it zip tied going alongside the radiator fans right here, going all the way up to the bottom. So I'm going to try to trim it a little bit, make it a little bit cleaner, and then I'll start up the camera once I get this bracket off and the catch can out. Alright, this was a hex head size in order to take out these hex head bolts right here. So I'm just going to undo all those from the brackets right now. There's that one loose, and this one is loose, and there you go. So I'm just going to undo both these, and then I'm going to take off this fitting right here, this AN fitting, and I'm using the 3/4 wrench, which does the job perfectly fine. Yep, there you go. Got that off. Alright, now let's take off that AN fitting on there. Perfect, got that out of the way. Now I'm going to set the camera and get these hex head bolts out of the way, and then I'll start the camera back up and start talking when I'm done with that. Alright, so for demonstration, I got this smart water bottle I'm going to use in order to drain this catch can and see how much gunk is actually inside of this. So I'm going to set the camera up, and then I'm just going to pop the bottom off this thing right here, and then it should drain all out. So let me set up the camera in a good spot so you guys can see it. Oh snap! Wow, that's actually really, really gross. And it got all over my desk. Okay, and then let's just take a look at all that gunk real quick. Alrighty. Well, this is kind of a scary contraption I'm doing right now. I'm balancing these two. Alright, but let's get up close and personal to this. Let me get the camera adjusted right. Alright. Now just take a look at all that gunk right there. That was all just caught within a matter of 800 miles from my big turbo built 2-liter Evo 10. Now, imagine if all that stuff was just recirculated back in through your intake right there. That is a whole lot of gunk, and I'm actually really glad to have these catch cans now, knowing that I saw that. I'm kind of curious on the other one. But yeah, so there it is. Drained all out, all over my desk. That's a lot of stuff. There'd be a lot more in that bottle if I didn't spill a bunch. But yeah, so you get it. These things save motors. They save a lot of blow-by and stuff you don't want getting past into your motor and everything like that. So I definitely recommend picking up one of these, even if you're doing like a little street build. Still, pick one of these up. It'll save you possibly a motor, and it'll just have an ease of mind after installing it. But yeah, that's just nasty right there. That's just some nasty stuff. And it's still coming out of the catch can. Almost like an apple juice color. That's gross. Alrighty, so now I'm just going to disassemble the top of this, put that little catching drain valve bolt back in there, and then take off the filter, and then put on the new bracket. Alrighty, so I popped the cap off. It's just a little hose clamp, so just undo that, pop that off, and then as you guys saw, I already popped these loose, so now I can just take them out the rest of the way, and then we have our bracket off. So I'm going to do that real fast right now. And there you have it right there. Bracket's off. Now I'm just going to clean it up because I spilled all that stuff all over it before. But yep, so here's the old bracket. Here's the new bracket. The new and improved one. Alright guys, so the Radium catch can has you install this bracket right here. So what you're going to do is you're going to have the mount lined up right here with this bolt hole right here. You line that top bracket part right there, and then the very bottom there's going to be a bolt hole right here. You're going to line up this bottom piece right here to that hole. So top part goes there, bolt goes to there, bolt goes down below, catch can sits up top, and then you just route whatever fittings you want to go where. Like for example, the catch can is going to sit upright like this with the bracket right there, and I can flip-flop these fittings. So that's what's really cool about this catch can. I can either put the breather filter on top or on the side. So it's all on placement and fitting it down there and where I want to mount it and all that setup. So I'm going to see what I like best, and then we're going to go from there, and I might flip-flop the fittings around. So let me do that real quick for you guys. Alright guys, so this is what it's going to look like if you have the updated bracket for the catch can right here. So it's going to mount right there. The filter is going to be off this top part, and your line is going to be right here running to the side of your valve cover there. But this is without the bolts in. I'm just seeing if I want that configuration with the filter being right here, or if I want the filter right there and have the line go right here. I'm almost thinking about switching them just so I can run this line right next to this line right here and have it go in between these brackets right above the radiator fans. So I'm probably going to do that. So I'm going to do that real quick, and then I'm going to bolt this down and then see how it looks after that. Alright, boom, just like that, in a matter of a minute, I've swapped the configuration, so the filter is now right here pointing straight out, and the AN line is up top, so I can run against the lines. So now I'm just going to bolt it up, put on the filter, run the line, cut the line a little bit shorter, and show you what the final product looks like. Okay, so Radium, in the package they give you, is a big self-tapping screw, and this hole way down here doesn't have any threads in it, so you're gonna have to self-tap that. So I'm just gonna use my power drill and drill it out, and then once I get that done, I'm gonna put the catch can in and we should be set. Alright guys, so that's about it. I got my 90-degree AN fitting out the top right here. Let me get the light for you guys. So I got that 90 coming out the top, and I'm running that the fuel rated hose line right next to this bracketer, or that, I guess, electrical hose right there. And I have it running up and right underneath the intercooler piping, back up to that fitting right there. And I cut about this much excess line off since the last one, so it's a lot better routing. I just think it's a lot more sleek, and it's a lot better placement. So if you're definitely looking for a different mounting location due to intake running into there, definitely get this mount. Hit up Radium. They have a lot of selections for these catch cans. You can do like hundreds of different variations on them. This is how I'm running on my setup right now, and I absolutely love them. Quality is always top notch when it comes to Radium. That's like one of their big things that they do, and just like my fuel rails, holding up super well. I love that piece, and in the future I will be running a Radium surge tank, so be looking forward to that. I just gotta get the funds for it and get the time to do that, so look forward to a Radium fuel rail, or a Radium surge tank. I already have the fuel rail, duh. Radium surge tank install. I'm pretty pumped for that. What I always do too is I always like keeping my fuel products all the same brand, and I like my catch cans at the Radium. Everything fuel, one brand. I don't like colliding two different brands. So that's a little install on them. I'll leave in the description down below their website and where you guys can find them. It's Radium Auto. They have tons of products, not just for Evos, but for STIs, LS motors, anything you can name, they have it. Yeah, so I'll leave that down below. Shout out to them, and hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.